I trust that you are sensing confidence as you continue to master the alphabet. Again, try to learn those capital letters as well, and you begin to pronounce Greek words. As we noted in Chapter 5, the first part of speech that we look at in elementary Greek is the noun. And now we will begin to look specifically at two of the four cases that we will initially learn for the Greek noun, the nominative and accusative. As we do at the beginning of each video, let's pray together. Lord, strengthen students and give them confidence as they work through words in Greek now and as they think about how words are formed to function a certain way. Help them with vocab and give them confidence in learning words. I ask this in Christ's name. Amen. Thinking about nouns, just to review from Chapter 5, we have three declensions of nouns. We have two noted here, and the first declension is the grouping of nouns whose final stem vowel is alpha or eta. Those are feminine. Generally, there'll be a few that are masculine, but normally 90+% of the time, most likely 97 or 98% of the time, these are feminine, and that's their grouping. Then we think about the second declension here and here. And the second declension, the final stem vowel is omicron. And you can see that omicron here that I have circled. And we take that final stem vowel and then we add to it a particular ending. And it's the endings that will signify what that word is doing in a sentence. This brings us to the nominative. Here I have marked the singular and the plural, so the nominative singular, and here the nominative plural. The nominative is the naming case. It's the case that Greek uses for the subject of a sentence. It's the actor. And here we have actual words in the nominative. A couple of them, ha logos. Now I say the whole phrase ha logos, I'm including there the definite article. He graphe, he chora, ta ergon. The actual word is just logos, graphe, chora, ergon. Ta here, he here, here, and ha, those are the article. Now here in the singular, the sigma that is right there at the end, that is the ending for the nominative masculine singular. In the feminine, there is no ending. That's why we just have the eta and the alpha here. And the ending for the neuter is that nu. So that's the nominative singular. You see the same pattern here in the nominative plural. The hoi logoi, hai graphai, hai chorai, ta erga. The definite article is hoi, hai, and ta, and then the words themselves. What I want to note with you specifically here, that iota is the nominative masculine plural ending, and that same ending, iota here, and then the alpha for the neuter. We're also thinking about the accusative here. The nominative accusative are the two cases of Greek nouns that are most structural. They are a starting point, if you will. Here's the starting point, the actor, and then the destination or the recipient of the action. Here is the nominative, and here the accusative. So we're thinking here about the accusative and we have the accusative singular and the accusative plural. Again, we are thinking about endings, and the new is an ending, and new here an ending, new and new. The endings that I have noted here include the final stem vowel, the omicron there, eta, alpha, and omicron, but just on the left of these, we have specifically the ending the new there, and new there. And with the plural, the ending on the left-hand side, us, and then just the sigma and alpha. With the final stem vowel, you can see the combination there with the omicron, and the alpha doesn't change here. When we think about what these combinations look like in actual letters, ton, logon, tain, graphein, tain, hora, ta, ergon, tus, logus, tas, graphos, tas, horos, ta, erga. The words themselves, including the definite article here. So here's your definite article, definite article, definite article, definite article, and then we have the words themselves, logon, graphein, horon, ergon, and then logus, graphos, horos, erga. These accusatives receive the action. They're generally the direct object, though there's a few nuances, as Mounts notes with the accusative, normally the direct object. We want to think with you, before we move on past this slide, just about the endings. That is the key for us to think about, and they are underlined here. The new, and that new is the ending, and the omicron that comes right before it is the final stem vowel. Here the new is the ending, the eta is the final stem vowel. The new is the ending, alpha is the final stem vowel. New is the ending, omicron is the final stem vowel. In the plural, as Mounts notes, that erga, the omicron, contracts with the alpha, and all that we see is the alpha. Here we just add the sigma to the final stem, and here, and then the upsilon sigma is the actual ending following that omicron for the accusative plural. You can see the full paradigm here, just the endings. And again, on the left, we have the ending itself. And on the right of the ending, after the slash, what that ending looks like following the final stem vowel. See that pattern? So we have here the omicron is the final stem vowel, and then we add the sigma, we add the nu, we add the iota, we add the upsilon sigma. And you can follow that same pattern then with the feminine and the neuter. Here, examples, what we are filling in of this paradigm, and the word paradigm just means the patterns, if you will, of these case cells. We will look at the genitive and the dative in the next chapter, and so we will have all of these cells filled in. For now, we are just thinking about the nominative and accusative, and that's what we want you to get down. And here is the definite article paradigm. If you memorize the definite article paradigm, you will be down the road, because there is a correspondence between the definite article and the ending of the case or the case endings in many instances. For instance, the new here, and the omicron, those are similar to the case endings. The patterns we will see develop with the genitive and dative as well. Some noun rules, you might just think of these as observations. Stems ending in alpha or eta, as we're noting here, alpha and eta, those are first declension. Stems ending in omicron, that omicron, remember, looks like that, just the omicron. They are in the second declension, and then consonantal stems in the third. So again, we have three declensions, three groupings. The illustration I've used, imagine a gym full of basketball players. You have guards, forwards, and the centers, three groupings, all players. In an orchestra, you might have strings, horns, and percussion, or other groups as well, but I'll just signify those three, and you would have three declensions. It's just the way to group words. And we group nouns. All nouns walk into a gym. All nouns walk into an orchestra pit. We need to divide them up. Those that end in stems ending in alpha or eta, those are first declension. Stems ending in omicron, those are the second declension. And those that have consonantal stems are the third declension. Every neuter word has the same form in the nominative and the accusative, so that's true for the neuter. And then finally, with the neuter here, almost all neuter words end in alpha in the nominative and accusative plural, so that's just true with the plural for the third declension, or rather the neuter words, not third declension, but neuter words. When we parse words, here at the bottom we have an example of parsing. This is what I want to think with you about for a moment here. The example that we have, logus. If we are going to parse logus, it is accusative, and we know that by that sigma ending along with the upsilon just before it. It is plural. It is masculine, because logos is always masculine, and this would mean words because it's plural. In your workbook for exercise 6, we have a couple of examples here, and I'm just going to do one with you to get you thinking. We have our verb clear over here, they will see, and here is our subject, the nominative plural, and we see that iota right there. That's our ending, and the omicron just before it. So we have omicron followed by iota, and that is going to be nominative plural, and that's going to be the subject of this verb over here, opsantai, and then we have our accusative singular, God. They will see God. Some vocab for you to work on. As Mounts notes, he puts the asterisk by the actual stem of nouns. And that is so helpful for you to know. You must learn the stem, because then you just take the stem and you apply the actual case ending, and that's going to get you the function in a sentence. So if we take a look here at agape, you can see right here our eta is the ending, and in the nominative singular, the feminine does not have a case ending, so we can see right here it's the same. But when we come to the neuter word ergon, here we have erga, that's our stem ending, and we add the new for the nominative singular, and that's how we get from the stem to the actual lexical entry. So we have the stem here, and that just ends with the actual vowel, but then when we are getting to the lexicon has the nominative singular form. And you will want to keep that in mind and distinguish between the two. What's the difference? The nominative singular has the nominative ending, if there is one. The stem does not. And you can see the bridge here. Try to think of a creative bridge for air gone. You want your errors gone. Well, you'll need to work. You'll need to act. You'll need to accomplish a deed for that to happen. Again, the more creative you can be, the better off you are. Remember, the stem is not necessarily the nominative singular. Can be with the feminine, as we note here, but not necessarily. The nominative singular, though, is always the lexical form.